Florida Talk Real Estate has been your local one-stop real estate shop since 2012. Get the advice you need from your local real estate pros. Here are your hosts, Jim DePola and Johnny C. live on Real Radio.
Good Saturday morning. Welcome to another edition. It's Florida Talk Real Estate. We got you for the next 2 hours of infotainment. Thanks for being out there. See you at 92.1, 101.7, the old terrestrial radio. Appreciate you tuning in. If you have your free download, your iHeartRadio app, we're worldwide. That's pretty big time, actually. I hate to really point that out, but it's pretty big time. Thanks for tuning in wherever you may be, any inch of the world. We appreciate you. Check in, too. Let us know where you're at. Of course, we live stream. They set up cameras in the studio on a Saturday for a reason. Florida Talk Real Estate on Facebook. You can find us on YouTube as well. Florida Talk Real Estate LLC, home of a ton of informational chunk videos, and a live stream on a Saturday. If you're with us, thanks for being there out the gates. If you're not, you can join in at any time, even after the fact. Go ahead and get you some. Get it all over your face. You're always welcome to join us as well. 877-927-6969. You got questions, comments, concerns in the world of real estate? Dial in. First voice you'll hear, the melodious tones of my producer extraordinaire. That's my brother from another mother. Jimothy, what's up?
Hello, and good morning, gentlemen. Happy Saturday.
Yeah, happy Saturday to you as well.
Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you as well, my dude. It's the 25th of April. I'm Johnny C., your old buddy, your old pal. Let's get some very important people on a Saturday, like AJ Hollman with ExperiencedAppraisers.com. Good to see you, my friend.
Good morning.
Ooh, in the mic a little bit there. Let me hear you. I want to hear you loud and proud.
Oh, louder?
That's
I thought
nice.
It was worse. I thought I should back up.
No. But the
I'm
more
such an
the more
amateur.
direct you can get into that bad boy, the more everybody gonna hear you.
I'm such an amateur. I'm sorry.
Oh, welcome to the amateur hour. I run the circus. One of these days I'll get used to doing radio. One of these days. Good to see you as always, my friend. Speaking of the guy that never talks into the mic, here's our fearless leader. 14 years now, I've told him into the mic, Jim. I've told you he runs the top producing Keller Williams team. It's the Florida Home Pros team, Keller Williams Innovations. Jimmy D, how you be?
Hey, happy South Florida, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. Did you guys have a good week overall?
Yeah, it was in my industry, it was very
Chill.
420, April 20th.
That's right.
Is the Super Bowl for the cannabis industry.
That's right.
Yeah, so we kind of had our Super Bowl this week.
Hey, that's my wedding anniversary.
Is it? Well, happy anniversary, my
Thank
friend.
you.
Oh, happy anniversary.
How many years?
14.
Awesome. Congrats.
Thank you.
That's a beautiful thing. I'm gonna be 14 in August.
Well, congratulations.
Anniversary.
Yeah, 14 years for us in August. That's a beautiful thing. Congrats.
Wow. How did you buy the house before you got married or after you got married?
After.
Right. Just about a year after, right? Or 6 months or something.
We closed in 2014.
Yeah.
So it was almost 2 years.
2 years
Yeah.
almost. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought
It was a little more than 2 years, actually.
Oh, that's right, because you had to have the little one before you bought the house. I forgot.
We
It
did.
wasn't the marriage. It was the little one that prompted you to buy the house.
Yes, exactly.
That
right.
happens.
Yeah, we had a little one running around in all these homes that we were checking out. Which one did you respond best in?
What's going on with your hat? What's Non-Point?
Non-Point is
a band?
Yeah, it's the act we're going to see in Tampa today.
Oh, today?
Yes.
Cool. Are you driving back down home or are you staying up there? for the-
Quick overnighter.
Quick
Yeah,
overnighter?
Quick overnighter.
Yeah. Hope you enjoy. That'll
That's
be
gonna
cool.
be awesome. Thank
Where
you.
did you say, Tampa?
Yeah, Tampa.
Yeah, I'll tell you off air a hotel not to go to.
Reverse advice.
Yeah.
Hope it's the one I'm booked at.
What color's the roof?
You know what? The hotels in quote unquote Tampa, just way too much money, man.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
we
okay.
went 8 miles out of and saved a ton. Like I'll drive 8 miles.
Sure, yeah.
Save
That's no big
a
deal.
lot of money. Yeah,
No big deal at all.
that's okay. Yeah.
Mhm. Have a good time.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
That's very cool. We have a lot. We have a lot to go over today. I think we have a lot. I didn't do as much show prep as I wanted to do because I've been so busy. So we're gonna. I think we might run out of time at the end. So you're going to have to bail me out, guys.
Oh, we definitely run out of time. At the end. We
Please
do.
call today just to
we-
break it up, just to make sure we have enough time.
And we do have a caller on the line, so whenever you're ready.
Oh,
we can do
awesome.
That, so.
Okay, just hold on 1 second. Don't hang up on me because we need you. Just want to go a couple other things first.
You can put that off.
We're going to talk about the March market report. We're going to talk about the March market report. There was a lot of stuff going on in there. We got AJ Hollman from Experienced Appraisers. So it's going to be great to talk about that. We're
Awesome.
also going to talk about the NORA district, which is actually the Northern Railroad Avenue. They're going through a major renovation. It's been going on for years now, but there's over $1 billion going into that area right now. And they just today, this morning, we just saw a news report. AJ caught it, I caught it, where they're building a new affordable housing complex over there, which is really nice to see. We'll see what affordable means later.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, they call it affordable. We'll see what that means with the K economy. Who knows?
And when you say complex, that's interesting.
It's going to be a mixed-use apartment, studios, 1 and 2 bedroom, mixed use. So it'll have some commercial downstairs. They're going to have a park nearby.
So 151 units,
yeah.
and the max income I think is going to be like 80,000.
Yeah.
So hopefully
that'll
they
be
really
good.
will be affordable. It sounds like they might be.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about the NORA district because there's a lot of stuff going on out there. There's so much going on in West Palm right now. It's a super hot
Yeah, it's
city as
hot.
far as developers and everybody. Everybody's very bullish on West Palm right now.
Awesome.
So we're going to get into that. We're also going to do the market updates. And I guess before we get into the shout outs, let's take the caller because we don't want to lose them because we got to burn some time.
Who you got there, Timothy?
Excellent. Well, we have Mark, and actually, this might tie into what you were just talking about. He wanted some advice on real estate investing. Mark,
Perfect.
welcome to Florida Talk Real Estate.
What's up, Mark?
Good morning, everybody. How's everyone doing on this beautiful Saturday?
Really
Perfect.
good.
Yeah, we're
Welcome.
doing great, Mark. How can we help
So
you? What kind of questions do you have?
I have some money coming from an inheritance. I'm not sure. The minimum is $250. The max might be $5. Where would you guys? Oh, excuse me. I have yawn. Where would you guys put that money in today's market?
I'm sorry, how much did you say?
Between 250 and 5.
250 and 500.
Okay, so you actually have 2 ways you could deal with that, possibly. Okay, the first way is to do, and if you know, I'm assuming that you're just talking real estate and you're not talking about other things because I'm not qualified to talk about like stocks or investment like that. But if
How
you,
about muscle cars? I can buy those.
I'm sorry.
Those might take my thought. I was just investing. I was joking about investing in cars, but the market's kind of fluctuating.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's fluctuating very much right now, right?
You should invest in trading cards.
Yeah. Or
That industry's booming again.
La Boo Boos or whatever. What do they call them? The La La
Yeah,
Boo
it's
Boos or
booming
whatever.
right now.
Did you see that the La La?
Oh, that man's bandwagon, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. What'd you say, Marcus? You're breaking up a little bit.
I'm terribly sorry. I'm in Wellington, so the reception is be quite poor. I'm sure you guys have been out here. No, I was just joking with John about the Pokemon cards that Logan Paul bought.
Yeah, man, Pokemon. That's it. He sold the highest valued Pokemon ever at auction. It was $16-something million.
I saw a little YouTube video of how he decided to do that and why he did it and everything. It was kind of interesting.
Stupid money being thrown around.
Jared Perry from Perry CPA Group, he has a YouTube channel with his son where they buy Pokemon cards and then they open them up
just
live
unbox.
and then they see if they get any good ones or not. It's kind of funny.
That tells me that his son is like, I'm gonna be a content creator. It's like,
I
well,
know,
let's
right?
start creating content.
I know. Let's
'cause that's
do
the
it
only
right
way
now.
to do it.
So that's pretty funny. Yeah. So, Mark, as far as investing, for real estate, if I were to try to, if I had the money, I think, if I had the money and I was going to invest it directly and not be passive income, I think I would probably look at one of 2 things. Multifamily would be a good opportunity right now. There's so much need for affordable apartment housing that multifamily, I think, would be a really safe bet. But another thing is these instant millionaire neighborhoods that we're looking at. AJ, the last time he was on, or 2 times before, we went over like 7 neighborhoods that AJ kind of looked at.
Yeah, the ones where there's a lot of new construction of the state homes.
Yeah. So if you could find, like, for example, I just sold a house recently on 51st Street in West Palm Beach. And we talked about that last week, so I don't want to get into it. But that neighborhood is on the edge of, I call it instant millionaire adjacent, meaning that it's not that neighborhood yet. But I just saw one of the houses being torn down to build the big mega mansion on the lot. And you can still buy those houses sometimes for $400 to $500,000, rent them out for a while, and then let developers know that you're willing to sell the property for a tear down. And the developers might give you, over time, they might give you a very significant upgrade on the pricing. For example, like if you bought something for 500, if the lot's the right lot, and we would help you figure that out, a developer might pay as much as $1 million to $1.2 million for the lot.
All right, well,
Over time.
Over time, yeah.
Let's say it's the low end of his inheritance. He said he's expecting low end 250, high end 500. Let's say he has $250,000. What do you, if you're getting $250,000 and you're going to invest it in real estate, what are you doing with it?
I would, if it was real estate, I would probably be doing multifamily.
How are you going to get a multifamily unit for 250?
Well, you're not going to buy it cash. You're going to buy it and have some financing, but it's going to cash flow because you're putting down 250.
There you go.
So you would have to get a mortgage with that plan for the multifamily. Now, the other options is to buy a house, fix it up, and sell it. I'm not recommending everybody do that. You got to understand there's a lot of math going on involved in that. So there's a lot of risk in that too, because if you miss the market, you get your math wrong, you could not do well.
And there's a lot of other people that are in that business. So everybody, that's the thing. When you're buying a property for an investment that's got tear down potential or fix it up potential, like that's if you're going to be actively involved. Were you wanting to be actively involved, or are you looking for passive income, right?
Well, I've got two things going for me. Number one, my wife is a contractor.
Okay.
To help there. Mm-hmm. And number two, if you guys don't mind, I'm not trying to switch gears. I like where you're going. And thank you, Johnny, for always watching out for me. We've been talking to you for a while.
Good.
What do you guys think about the Section 8 gimmick? If I can just throw that in as a brief question. I'm trying to add to your volume of college.
Yeah. So Section 8, I used to own a Section 8 property a long time ago in Deerfield. If you plan it out right and you buy a unit and you do Section 8, it can be so easy if you pick the right tenants. And then if you get paid by the federal government where they just put the money in your bank account every single month. That's the way mine was. Now with mine, my tenant had to pay me 20% of the monthly rent, but 80% of it was direct deposited directly from from HUD for the Section 8 program. And it was just direct deposited, just set and forget it. Now the thing with Section 8, I don't remember if it's every 6 months or every year. It might be once a year, or if you have multiple leases throughout the year, they're going to come and check your unit to make sure that the unit meets Section 8 code. So what does that mean? Plumbing works, AC works, no electrical problems. That you're keeping, exactly, that you're not a slumlord, and that you're keeping everything okay. I didn't have a problem with those inspections when I was doing it. It's like why wouldn't I want to keep my unit in good condition?
Sure.
Not just for the tenants, but for long-term deferred maintenance when I go to sell it. So Section 8, I think, can be very good. And if you're going to do Section 8, the more bedrooms, the better. You get so much more money for a 4-bedroom or 5-bedroom unit compared to a 3-bedroom unit. It's really amazing.
Oh.
And there's a big need out there for the larger units because some people have larger families. So you can, I would look at 4 and 5-bedroom places for Section 8 if I were to do it.
And my recommendation would be to try to find a multifamily property that's not in good condition, that's in an area that you believe has potential, and we're going to be talking about some of those areas today. And get, especially with your wife being a contractor, get in there, fix it up, get it nice, and get it rented, and just the whole thing paying for itself, a little bit of passive income. And then, like Jim said, in 10 years, maybe then the developer will be in a good position to double or triple your money. I mean, that happens. And in the meantime, at least you're covering your money and you're doing something with it,
So guys, thanks for the advice.
Yeah. What are you thinking of doing with money when you found out that you were getting the inheritance? What are you guys thinking about doing for investment, Mark?
Really, I'm not 100% sure. I had some money for when I sold a house, and I started 2 new businesses. One, I took the whole property I already had, and I'm not trying to advertise for our business, but we are an equestrian facility out here in Wellington, and we do a lot of things for events. Like if you guys want to have the POA family event or big media thing or something like that, we have a beautiful facility out where we are. We teach homesteading. We work with kids. We work with autistic people. We've done some stuff with Vincent Roy members. So we've turned our property into a production facility because it is a horse ranch and working with that. And then also I built a home-based business on that where, because my wife's a contractor, I do special murals and prints. If Johnny remembers, him and Greek had some really cool shirts many years ago for the Penthouse, and I'm the one who did those.
Oh.
They're like really good. They're really, remember the really nice baseball jerseys that Greek got you guys?
Oh, yeah. You did those?
Yes, sir. That was me and my wife did those for you guys.
Very cool.
To me, Mark, I know who you are now because we had a conversation about 18 months ago, and I'm so glad that you called. I really want the KOPM, and I always say it wrong, so I'm going to just say Knights of Pythagoras Mentoring Network. When I show you this program, Mark, you're going to be so happy to know this program exists. It's basically in Delray, but it covers a bunch of cities. One of my very good friends has been running that nonprofit now for 35 years. And all he does is help children in the Delray area. Most of them are underprivileged, and he gives them all these different types of experiences. And I would love to connect you to see Ron Allen, so to see if we can do an event at your complex, if you don't mind, Mark. I would love that to happen. The kids would be so happy.
I'll tell you what, you have them contact me and we'll take care of everything on our house. You will not spend one penny.
That would be awesome, Mark. I'm really, really happy about that. We just gave them, they do a weekly podcast, and our group here at the station and some of our fans, Nate was one of them. Thank you, Nate. I know he's hearing that right now. We got them the computer they need so they could do the podcast better and everything, and they were really, really happy. So I would love to get them out there and have the equestrian experience out there. That would be awesome.
Well, we also got small animals. My wife for my birthday, this is kind of how we are, got me baby ducks. I mean, we're all about animals, kids, our vets, helping anybody out who needs a hand. That's our mojo. Life has been very blessed for us, and we want to turn it back. And I'm going to kiss Johnny's butt for a little bit because I absolutely adore him. I met him twice, different places, and he is the truest gentleman I've ever met. He's just a good dude.
Well, checks in the mail. I appreciate you very much.
That's awesome.
You're awesome, dude. You bring the community together. When you and G were on the Penthouse and you had some of the ladies rolling with you, it was just such a wonderful time, and I really appreciate it. Now you're with the boys doing real estate. I know you moved up a little bit. It's always nice to see people like you just kind of climbing the ladder, bringing other people to you.
Very kind. Very kind. And thank you for the support, obviously, over many years now. And you just keep shining because life blesses those who bless others. And I got to tell you, it's working out for you because you're living well, my friend.
Thank you guys very much. Yeah, if there's anything we can do to help the kids and that kind of stuff, that's whatever you guys need. I'm more than happy to work with whomever you have. If you guys want to do something, I'd love to. At the same time, I'd like to be able to extend. I mean, I don't want to call it our wealth, but our income, so we can do more for our community. And it's nice when you can do beautiful things for your family, but when you can bring other people on it too, it's just a blessing and a joy.
That's it. That's winning.
It is.
That's winning on top of winning right there for sure.
One of our shout outs is going to be related to exactly what Mark is saying about making an impact in the community. And we are blessed to have Johnny on the show every single week because he is a force of nature in the community on this real
I'm over
radio.
here because Jimothy's here. As soon as he leaves, I'm out.
But as far as moving up in the world, I think that being on our show is kind of slumming it. I don't know about moving up in the world.
I was going to say, welcome to the big time.
Well,
Mark, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, man, awesome. Thanks for the support. Have a great weekend, and can't wait to hear how you flip them dollars. Sorry, you got to get it the way you got it though. Inheritance is never a good thing, It's just
that's okay, but at the same time, I think my parents will be proud of what we're doing.
For sure.
I think so.
That's it, buddy. All right, be well. We thank you.
You guys got my number. If we can help you guys out, and if I get a little direction and some investing, I'd love to go in yin and yang. We do back and forth on stuff, and have a great show. And you guys are really doing a huge service for the community, and just some respect for you guys. Okay.
Thank you so much, Mark. I really appreciate it. Thank you for helping burn some time today too.
I try to finish the call as long as I can without becoming boring and too much of a groveler. So.
Well, we can go back to talking about how awesome I am. I mean, I guess
we always got that.
Johnny's moving on up.
That's awesome.
Have an awesome weekend, dude.
I don't know what you're worried about with the time, Jim. I love the sound of my own voice. You and I could talk forever about real estate.
I could talk. That's my thing.
It's just I gotta tell you, I think odds are really good that there's probably this like huge page of things to talk about every Saturday that we never get to.
Get to.
Yeah. And then the day he doesn't have the huge page is panic mode. It's
that's exactly what it is. I normally have this little outline, at least something, so I'm totally winging it today. Well, I do want to go into the shout outs, and it ties right into Mark, what Mark was talking about, impacting the community. I had one of the best closings this week ever. Well, when I say ever, at least this year for sure, right? And it wasn't about a fancy house or a luxury home or anything like that, sound something like that. It was trying to help a 20-something young kid who wanted to buy his first home, really determined, and had basically hardly scraped together every dime he had in order to try to buy the home, but he had very little down payment, didn't really have the money for the closing costs.
Sounds familiar. I think there's a lot of people nodding their heads.
There's so many people out there like that. And I'm gonna tell the budget on this one because I don't think it would bother. His name is Josh. I don't think it would bother Josh if I said it, but he was about a 150 price range. And here's the problem when you're at that low of a price point is that if you don't have a big down payment, you can't buy a condo. So condos are out. So a lot of people, when they're under 200,000 or 250, they're like, oh, I'll just buy a condo. Well, if you're buying a condo for 200, right, you might have to put down $40,000 to $50,000, 20 to 25% down in order to buy the condo. And then people go, I don't have that kind of money, right? So now it comes down to a villa, a townhouse, or single family. And with those, they're very hard to find at lower end price points. So 150, basically, it's almost impossible. It's like trying to buy a single family home for 150 in Palm Beach County. It's like, well, what part of the house are you buying for 150? Right?
That
kinds like that.
And third bathroom.
You could have the garage and this one bathroom over here, but the rest of the house, you can't buy that part.
Right.
So, but he was determined, and this is what I love because you remind me when I was a first-time home buyer. So he was living with his mom, Laura, and they decided that Josh fell in love and was going to get married, start a family. So the mom and the son needed to separate. They wanted to be close by if they could. The mom was on any of her lower budget. We closed her out, Laura. We closed her out like 3 weeks ago. I was so happy for that. And so with Josh, we closed on, I think it was Wednesday. Yeah, we closed on Wednesday. So listen to this. For the first time since our short sale period, he walked away with a check when he bought the house.
Really?
Yes, he walked away with a check of $2,000 when he bought the house. And this is also a shout out to Mike. And we're at the closing table. Mike calls me up 2 days before the closing. He goes, Jim, between the down payment assistance I got him, because Mike found a special program that was able to use for this particular house where he got like $7,000 more in down payment assistance. Well, I negotiated with the seller to give us $5,000 back. So between the $5,000 back, the escrow payment he made, which was a couple $1,000s, and then the down payment, extra down payment assistance Mike found, Mike Rao from the mortgage firm, we had too much money. And lenders have a requirement of how much you can bring to the table and how to use it. So you can't just like get $100,000 in down payment assistance to seller credits and buy a $150,000 house. It doesn't work like that.
Right.
So Mike spent a day and a half trying to figure out how to spend every dime because there was like $2,500 left over.
Yeah, but maybe throw some at a rate, and just figure out where to use it.
Yeah, and he kept figuring, oh, I could do this, and then he found out, oh, I can't do that, right, because of the regulations. So check out how creative Mike was. He was able to work it out where Josh got his $2,000 escrow deposit back. There was still money left over, so he gave that back to the seller, right, that I negotiated, but got the seller to agree to give the money to pay for future payments in the HOA.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so Josh is moving
That's
in.
a good. Yeah, I have seen that before, where you do that to consume it.
Yeah, just to eat up the money. So
Yeah.
he's not going to have to pay an HOA for the first quarter.
That's excellent.
He bought a villa, so he has an HOA. So so we're sitting at the closing table, and the title company is going over all the costs. The only money he pulled out of his pocket. Now, he did pull the money out for the escrow, which he got back.
Sure.
But the only money he really spent on that deal was the property inspection. How crazy is that?
Wow.
It's amazing.
Right?
Wow.
Right?
That is
$500 basically
Yeah.
for the inspection, and that's what it costs. Not even first class security. That blows away rental. Right?
Yes, it does.
So I
Blows
was
it out
so
of the water.
happy. And every time he saw where the money was being taken off on his closing disclosure, he was just beaming. He's like, wow, I can't believe this. Wow, I can't believe this. And then he gets the check at the end of the closing for the money that he put down for escrow.
Amazing.
So Josh and Laura, thank you so much for trusting us and our team to get everything done for you. They used almost everybody on our team between the mom and the son. They used Mike Rao from the mortgage firm, used me, used Ross Camaronets. I think on one deal we used Trident Title, one deal we couldn't. And here's the crazy thing. People might remember this, but Josh put an offer on the house that his mom bought. And we had done the inspection, and then the house didn't appraise.
Right. And then
And the
mom
house,
was like, I'll buy it, right?
yeah, and that appraisal met the mom's budget, because her budget was lower than the son's. So the reason why Josh had to walk away is he didn't have the extra money to bring to the table. And he decided that it wasn't going to work for him. So the day after the whole deal fell apart for him, I had to race out and go find him a new property because he was running out of rental time. He had no time. Like his landlord was it's like time to skedaddle.
Yeah.
So the next day I ran out, found a villa basically across the street from the house, a different community, but across the street from the house that he had turned down because of the appraisal. Got him under contract that day. Then the next, I was like, whoosh, got through that one, right? Then the next day, the mom calls up and goes like, Jim, if the people will take the appraised value, I'll buy the house that Josh didn't want to buy. And I'm like, what? My head was blown, right? I didn't even think about it. It didn't even occur to me. And she goes, yeah, I'll buy that house. I go, you haven't even seen it yet. She goes, I don't care. Josh liked it. I'll like it. She didn't see the house until the day of the final walkthrough.
That's always so stressful.
Right.
Though.
So she walked in and I forgot. And she walked in the house and her eyes lit up and she's just beaming.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I'll
And
take it.
I was like, wow, I'm so glad you're happy. She goes, yeah, this is the first time I'm seeing it. And I'm her realtor. Right. I'm like, oh, I can't believe I forgot that part. So anyway, it just made my day. I was walking on the air all day Wednesday, all day Thursday, because when you do those deals, it's like what Mark was saying. You're really impacting people's lives, and on a very deep level. I remember when I bought my first home down in Delray, I paid $67,000 for a foreclosure back in 1994, and it needed everything. The house was a complete mess. But I was so happy because it was mine. I had the keys to it. It was my house. I could do whatever I wanted with my house.
Yep.
Nothing
else mattered. Right?
Yeah. And I remember working really hard. I was a journalist still and working 60, 70 hours a week. Very normal. Right. And I'd be exhausted, but I would come home to my house. I hadn't moved in yet, and scraping all the wallpaper off for hours and hours and drinking beer and listening to music and ripping off wallpaper that most people would say, oh, it's so terrible to do that. And I was just so happy doing the whole thing. And I know Josh and Lisa is his soon-to-be bride, I assume. I hope you have many, many happy years over there, and it gets your toehold into the market so that you'll be able to grow your wealth through the appreciation on the unit over time.
Yes,
100%.
And just made my week this week. The whole week I was walking around after that Wednesday. I was like, wow, I did a really good thing this week.
Great.
It made me feel so good.
You should have some pep in your step.
Yeah, I was really, really happy. Also wanted to give a shout out to Paul and Anna. Paul and Anna cut off a sign on that 51st Street house, and it was already under contract, and they live in Oregon. They know the area a little bit because they rented a place in Riviera Beach for a little while, but they don't really know the area that well because they're really based in Oregon. So they called me up off the sign. I said, I'm sorry, that house is sold, but I'd love to help you find another house. Now, when you're talking to people on the phone and they don't know you're from Adam, you are trying to kind of sell them about, hey, if you're gonna find a house and you're looking for a house, why not hire a full-time professional realtor that got your back to do stuff? Wasn't really sold like most people are on the phone, but then when I started telling the other information that I give that most realtors don't talk about, he said, I said, so the next, I go, so if all this makes sense, the next step is that we would have a meeting at my office and we'll sit down and talk, and then we'll get you over to Mike Ralph from the mortgage firm. And he was like, when can we meet? I need to meet you right away.
Yeah, because they're only here for a little while, right?
Yeah, with this one, I met him on the 13th of April. They were leaving on the 13th to go to the Keys for like 10 days or something. Maybe it was a little earlier than the 13th, like the 6th or the 7th, but they were going to be gone until like a week ago Wednesday. So I had to go find properties and had one day to show them a property that they were going to buy, because then they're going back to Oregon.
Marathon, 15 houses in one day.
11.
Or
Yep,
11?
I did 11, but I
good.
booked 13. Right. So yep.
Yeah,
13 properties booked in one day. And people don't understand. It's a little difficult when you're trying to book that many properties.
You're juggling a lot.
And you have the needs of the sellers and the real estate agents. So it isn't like, hey, I want to come over to the house at 2. I want to come over here at 2:30. I want to come here at 3.
Right.
Because then the seller's like, I'm not available at 2, or the realtor's like, I got to be there and I can't be there at 3.
Right.
And you got to juggle everything. So we looked at 11 properties for them, and we found 2 that they liked. So we went back to the office to comp them. And as we were comping the properties,
Popped up.
they saw a yellow house, right? It was a very bright picture of a yellow house. And they go, what about that one? And it was like, it looked like an old historic
like
home.
Colonial or something, wood frame, or
it was a wood frame with wood shingles. The whole shell is wood shingle.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay. And it's east of Broadway, on 50th Street, right around the corner.
Right by where we're talking about.
Yeah, right where we were talking about.
That building's going in.
And he is right. And he's like 15 houses from the Intercoastal. Like all the towers that are being built up there, they're in the shadow of all that.
Yeah.
So I said, the reason why I didn't show you that property, it's too expensive. It's out of your budget. And they said, well, we really like it. And I said, well, you're going to have to come up with the extra money. And they go, I think we can do that. Let's go see it. So instead of making the offer on the comping we were doing,
right,
we called up the agent. The agent goes, the house is not really to be shown yet. And we're like, look, these people are here for one day. Basically, today's the day. They really want to see the house. And the agent said, okay, we got lucky. And we went over there and they fell in love with it. And it was a really nice home, totally upgraded. But they didn't tell us it was historically designated.
Oh, yeah, that brings it. Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened was they were planning on buying it to tear down the lot eventually and then build a McMansion there that they would do as a development deal. But that's not going to happen. So I told Paul, you got to go to the city, go to the building department, go to the code enforcement department, check everything out with them, and then find out what you can find out. And he found out that he could put in an addition that can go up to 25 feet tall in the back of the house.
It's got to be behind the facade at least.
Exactly, AJ. That's why AJ's the experienced appraiser, experiencedappraiser.com. So he was comfortable with that. The house is kind of on a zoom road because it's only two doors down, 2 doors east of Broadway. So there's a lot of zoom. And it's right across the street it's directly across the street from the fire department. So that means a lot of sirens and and out and all that. But I was like, look, here are the downsides of this house, right? And I was trying to tell him because, here are the upsides, here are the downsides. And I mentioned about the zoom and the noise and the fire department. Then we walked inside the house and shut the door. Couldn't hear anything because impact windows everywhere.
Oh, okay. I was going to say that you've got to have that if there's a noise influence around.
So we did the inspection. Yes, we did the inspection on Friday. It's such a whirlwind. What's today? A Thursday. We did the inspection on Thursday. And for a 102-year-old house, 102 years old, right?
Yeah.
102-year-old house, it came out pretty good. Even the inspector said I can't really find a lot that's going on. The house was nicely upgraded. So we have to negotiate a little thing, I think, today, but I'm pretty sure that the house is going to close. And thank you for trusting us. And he didn't know it was from Adam. And then they went out to look at the house during the inspection, and they were so happy. And they actually said to me, Jim, we had another realtor that we were kind of working with before we talked to you. And once we talked to you, we just felt like you're the guy, and dumped the other realtor. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
They didn't sign a buyer's agreement.
Yeah,
so you got to sign the buyer's agreement.
That's right. You got to get him to sign that.
Yeah. But anyway, we ended up doing it, and thank you for trusting us, Paul and Anna. It's been a really great time.
One suggestion I have is a nice water feature outside.
Yeah.
Really helps dampen a lot of that traffic,
especially
the passive traffic noise.
Yes,
just the zoom, zoom, zoom.
I love the water feature to drown out the noise. I love that
fountain
idea.
Or, if you got a pool, make sure it's got a fountain on it or something.
Yeah.
I was going full on like water slide.
Yeah, there you go.
Whatever it takes, as long as it's making running noise.
I hear the city's shutting down, Riviera's shutting down that water park. Maybe they could move it over to his.
No.
What, Rapids?
Yeah, I think they're shutting it down. Didn't I see that? I thought I saw that somewhere. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere.
That's
just like this week.
You sure it's the Rapids and not the public one?
It might be the public one. Is that
because there's a public one off of it's right up the road here.
That has to be the one then.
Yeah, because Rapids is further west.
Yeah, it's the further
and that's
west.
That's been an
one,
icon. Right? That's been there forever.
I know. That's what when I read it, I was like, wow, but it might be the city public park. It might be that one.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and take a break.
Let's.
We're going to take a break. On the flip side, we're going to talk about the market update. There's a lot of stuff going on with that, so I think there's a lot of teachable moments there. But and we're going to talk about what all this means for buyers and sellers in today's market.
Excellent.
And we're going to get into that on the flip side.
Lots to get into. What you got?
Rapids Water Park is listed as closing during part of the year. Oh.
Yeah, that's just their winter shutdown or something.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. I think it has to be the city one then. Because I was kind of surprised.
People don't swim in cold weather.
Yeah. Who would have thunk it?
I was checking my pool out yesterday. I was like, man, it's not as close as I was hoping.
My community pool's not heated, and it annoys me to no end, and I can't get in there yet.
Oh, it's so cold.
I mean, I've been in there, but I'm not going every morning like I do in the summer.
No way. Freezing. Plenty of time remaining on this Saturday. We are live on April 25. You're always welcome to join us toll free at 877-927-6969 if you'd like to be involved in the conversation at hand. If you have a question, comment, concern, don't be shy. Of course, if you are a little bit more on the shy side, I totally understand. Remember, FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. You have access to the entire team. I'm talking pros. These are experts in their field, and they do work cohesively together. If you need some guidance, buying a home, selling a home, stuck with a home, you don't know what to do, you need professionalism in anything that touches the world of real estate, FloridaTalkRealEstate.com is your resource. On Facebook, on YouTube, share and like away. You can change lives, including your very own, with the pros of FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. 4-minute reset. We're back at it on a Saturday. Thanks for being with us every Saturday right here on Real Radio.
We'll be your friend. Follow us at Real Radio 92.1 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Here's the latest with weather on Real Radio.
I'm meteorologist Charlotte Carl with CBS 12 News. We're expecting pleasant conditions to continue, partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies for the rest of your Saturday. Temperatures will get into the lower 80s across the area, few passing showers and the potential for a storm or two west of I-95 through this evening.
This report is sponsored by Staples. Staples has hundreds of ways to grow your business this spring, like spectacular signs, brilliant brochures, eye-popping posters, mouth-watering menus, and more. Shop now through June 13th and save up to $150 on all your custom prints. Staples. That was easy.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rao from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rao will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rao, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Camaronets, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation because floridatalkrealestate.com has you covered. That's floridatalkrealestate.com.
This is Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Real talk for the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast. This is Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim DePola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
You're more than welcome to dial in 877-927-6969. If your questions, comments, concerns on the real estate need some addressing, we got the people to do just that here in studio. Johnny C, that's me. I'm not the guy to address that, by the way. Jimothy's our producer extraordinaire. What's up, my guy?
Hello, and good morning.
Good morning. But AJ Hollman with ExperiencedRazors.com, he can handle a lot of questions for sure. How are you, my friend?
Plug him into another jack.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. We having issues?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I lost it.
Oh. I get you. Yeah, let's do
Please.
this.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I'm lost.
How's that?
Yeah, there we go.
You like that?
Yeah, that works.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
There we
just got to
go.
get into a different hole.
Yeah. This
See how that
one
works,
seems to
AJ?
work better. Yeah.
Notice how gentlemanly I like. How about that one?
Thank you.
Can I do?
Slip that right in there.
Is that one okay?
Mhm.
Is that good for?
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Nice to see you, AJ, as always.
Never grow up, do we?
It's never gonna happen. I'm pretty sure it's never gonna happen. Our fearless leader, 14 plus years now. I've told you he runs a top producing Keller Williams team, the Florida Home Pros, Keller Williams Innovation. Jimmy D, how you be? There's Jim DePola.
Hey, I'm doing great, guys. Happy South Florida, everybody. Nice day out. Very nice day. I'm glad. Hopefully it stays not rainy because I got a lot of photo shoots today.
Oh, boy.
Shout out to Scott and Suzanne's. Johnny, you know him very well. I'm going to be going down there to shoot their condo in Margate. They're going to be selling an estate condo down there, and I'm going to be shooting it today, so I'm excited about that.
Awesome.
Before that, I'm going to be doing a photo shoot in Royal Palm, and this is going to be a news alert right now. News alert, news alert. I'm going to be putting out a mass email on Monday, and I'm expecting to get some action on it. So you guys are getting it here first live on the show. I've got a really great property in Royal Palm, 780 Orchid Drive or Orchid Way. I'm sorry, I don't remember which, but 780 Orchid. This is a really great opportunity, not for investors pushing you aside, trying to get first-time home buyer or somebody looking to get an affordable home, because I really want to sell houses to people that want to live there and not be investors if I can, anytime I can do that.
Sure.
So what we got going is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in Palm Beach Colony, which is a very nice area of Royal Palm Beach, single-family homes, no HOA. This house is about almost 1,700 square feet under air. Got a garage, CBS construction. That neighborhood is mostly 1960s, 1970s home. This home is a 2005, so it sticks out a little bit in a good way. And it's got a garage, which a lot of the homes in that neighborhood only have carports.
Yeah, they converted a lot of the living area too there.
Yep, and they converted it. And this has a true garage, and it's a true 3-bedroom, 2-bath CBS construction. It is perfectly move-in ready. Is it a little dated? Yeah, it could use a little tender love and care, but nothing that you feel like, nothing like Josh just bought where he's going to have to really do a lot of stuff, right? So this house is move-in ready. They're only asking now 3-bedroom, 2-bath, almost 1,700 square feet under air. They're only asking $445,000 for this house.
Nice.
But it gets better. This house qualifies for Mike's Smart Start lender incentive program, where you're going to get $15,000 with no requirement to repay ever, $15,000 to help buy the house. You can stack it with down payment assistance programs. So even if you only use the Florida bond program, which is $10,000, you could get $25,000 to help buy this house.
If your lender is the mortgage firm.
If your lender's the mortgage firm, got to use Mike.
Yep.
So with the $25,000 on this house, do you mind if I do a little quick calculation here?
Sure, do
Let me
that.
do a little quick
While you're
calculation.
doing that, because who knows how long that's going to take.
Thanks a lot.
I'll tell you,
And he's right.
I like that neighborhood. That's a good location because it's good commuter access. You know, you're right off 441 and then Southern, and 441's right there, the turnpike. So you're out west a little bit, but it's not like the acreage where you've got another 20, 30 minutes to get out there, you know?
Exactly. And let me see here.
And it's a good neighborhood anyway. Like, even if this home's got, like you said, it needs a little whatever, I promise you, any other home you buy in there that's going to be 40, 50 years older or something, probably, it's going to have a lot of stuff, even if it's fixed up. Because that's the thing. People fix things up cosmetically, which is great. I mean, you know, you want a nice kitchen and tile, but you know, the stuff behind the walls, the wire, like the plumbing, the plumbing mostly.
Yes,
you know,
the plumbing.
Big one.
the stuff behind the walls, you know,
Ductwork, AC.
Yeah. Attic in general, all that stuff.
It's awesome. So if, according to Mike's Quick Qual app, that's what we're using right now. According to Mike's,
I love that thing.
Yeah, it's awesome. According to his Quick Qual app, if a family buys this at $445, now the owners are only looking at full asking price, because most of the homes in this neighborhood that are 3-bedroom, 2-bath, if they had the garage, they'd be closer to $525.
Oh, it sounds like they've built in the discount for what they know it needs.
So at full asking price, you would need to bring $37,527 to the table if you were doing 5% down, right? So of the 30, I'm sorry, what did I just add there? 37,000. You can get 25 of that from the mortgage firm and down payment assistance if you're a first-time home buyer and you qualify for an any qualifying mortgage, conventional, VA, FHA, USDA. You can get the money. So you would only have to bring $12,000 to the table to get your home. That's a really good opportunity. $12,000 gets you home.
Amazing.
For a lot of people, that's first last security in a rental apartment.
Yeah, that's pretty competitive.
It's very competitive to a rental. Maybe you're spending a little bit more money, but you get the house.
Yeah,
right.
You get a house instead of rent.
And the other thing, Johnny, when I was doing the comps over there, I was thinking about your house situation just to say, I wonder what Johnny's doing. And I still believe that you're in the fives for sure. You're in the fives. I know we got as high as 550 or something like that, or a little bit higher, but we have seen prices retract a little bit. I didn't know if you were going to be in the fours, like the high fours, but you're definitely still in the fives with your house. So pretty good compared to what you paid for it back in the day.
Oh, no, great compared to. But, ours is going to be a similar situation when we go to list it because we'll list it accordingly. We know what the maintenance that's been deferred that'll be required, and we either do it beforehand or
why you deferring maintenance.
Yeah, right. What the hell are you doing?
Have you heard it's a K economy? Right? It's a K economy, and we're not on the good side of the K.
No,
we're on the bad side of the K.
Okay. The other thing about that area right there is we were just talking about those water parks.
Yeah.
The Seminole Palms Water Park is right around the corner from that house. They've got a whole water, and that's public. And there's another park just to the south. Then there's Commons Park right to the north there. So you do have 3 decent parks right in the area.
It
Commons
seems like
is amazing.
It seems like there's always something to do in Royal Palm.
Yes.
Royal Palm always got really great community function stuff like festivals or bands or food truck places. Isn't that usually in Royal Palm, the food truck gatherings?
Yeah, so it seems like the community cares about having parks and stuff like that. So it seems like it's a focus, and they deliver on it pretty regularly.
And the school systems are pretty good out there.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, most of the school systems are good if you're going to public school. And then also Wellington also puts on a lot of stuff, which is a sister city. And
I was going to say the other side of the K is right there. You can go to some equestrian events. That's where the other K is.
So this is a great opportunity, and I don't want to hear people saying that it's a bad time to buy. Look what just happened to Josh, right? At $150,000, you can find stuff out there. You can find it, but it's all about your mindset about what type of economy it is. When I bought my house, my first home, when I scraped every dime I had together to try to put it together, it was a horrible economy. 1994, I paid 9.25% for my interest rate.
I did mine right around the same time, and I did this horrendous variable 15-year. I don't even know what. It was ridiculous. It was so hard to get into to qualify, all of it, because I was first-time home buyer, and you've only got so much money.
And then bought that house for $67,000. Last time I checked, that was a $365,000 house many, many years ago. I haven't checked in so long. That house probably today is worth $500,000, $525,000.
Yeah, probably.
Right? So, but it's been 30 years, right? But still going from 67 to 500,000 over that time. So there are opportunities out there. You don't have to be depressed about trying and fighting with your landlord all the time. There are ways out of it. You have to be, you have to save some money. You got to save some money for down payment and stuff. It's very rare to get Josh's situation. That's very unusual. I can't tell you I'm going to do that every time. The last time I had anybody get a check at closing was during the short sale crash, right? And those were real checks. They weren't like getting your money back from the escrow deposit. Right. They were like real money that you got at closing.
We're talking like 18 years ago.
I know, it's so long ago.
Time flies, doesn't it?
So, but if you're looking, is like, that's what I need for my family: a good school system, a nice house in a great neighborhood, and somebody to help me get into the house. This is the house, guys. This is one of the houses. And there are other opportunities out there like that. So don't get so depressed and so jaded that you stick a head in the hole and think, oh, I can't do it, and just shut down emotionally.
Well, and again, don't fill in the blanks on your own. If you don't have all the details, and I'm talking about the details of your credit and your finances and exactly what you can afford, how your debt to income looks, what you could qualify for, and what your path is, you're not really serious. If you are serious and you have all that understanding, let's just make sure you're working with people that can get you on the absolute right path. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Know it, use it, love it, share it. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com.
Want to just talk about interest rates before we get into the market report for March. Interest rates have been going down for the third or fourth week in a row. We're down to 6.23. Now, I think it was 5 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, Mike was making fun of everything, so was I. When we got into the fives, right? 598.
It was a 5.
That mental
We were in the
break.
fives, right? We're in the 598. And we went from 602 to 598, then we went up to 6.0 the next week because that was the week the war started, right? Then we went up to 6.0. I think we went up to like 602, and then as the war escalated, we got all the way 6.47.
Yeah.
So we went up half a point in like 4 weeks, 3
Yeah, that
weeks.
was
We went up
fast.
that was bad.
Things change quick.
But we went down a quarter point now because now we're at 6.27. So we're down almost a quarter point from the high. And you know what? And Mike brought this up the last time he was on the show last week, and he's totally right. We're still in that high-low average over the last 18 months. We really haven't got higher. There's like this bracket of basically 6% to 6.5%. And over the last 18 months, we've kind of
We're just
been
bouncing around
in that bracket.
right in there.
Yeah, right there. So don't let interest rates stop you from buying a home. It's about your mortgage payment, not the interest rate. And
Yeah, the only time that really truly matters is if you are pressing every penny together, and then you're like, I can't go any higher than that. That's when it matters most.
Yep. And don't tell me that insurance. So if you go, well, if it's not the interest rate, then it's the home insurance. Home insurance is expensive. Well, it has been historically high for several years now, but it's going down. And now we are not the most expensive insurance state in the country. It's Colorado, right? So
Hey, we're
Florida.
number 2.
Hey, we're number 2 now.
Number 2.
I don't even know for number 2. Might even be lower than that, AJ, believe it or not. Yeah. But Ross is seeing tremendous discounts to people. A lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people getting tremendous discounts compared to a year or two before. So don't say, oh, the insurance rates are killing me, because like people always have to have an excuse, right? So first it's the interest rates. Then it's like, well, what about insurance, right? So then there's nothing out there, right? The next thing is, well, there's nothing to buy. I'm like, no, it is not one of those sales markets where you're competing with a whole bunch of people in most cases. Now, if you have a super hot home, yes, you're going to be competing without a doubt. Paul and Anna, when they bought their home on 50th Street, the one I just talked about, the yellow house, when we went and saw it, they came to me and said, because they want a deal. So they came to me and it's like, what do you think we should offer? And I looked at them and I go, I think you should offer full. It's worth it. And I knew they wanted it so bad. I was like, if you don't, somebody else is going to offer full. So what we did is we offered full, but we asked for a bunch of furniture to stay with the house. And then they called us back that day and said that they were going to accept our offer and started working on the terms for the furniture that was going to stay. And then we got a call later that day saying that there was another offer that was significantly higher than ours and didn't want anything. And we were going to lose the house. So I said, it's up to you what you want to do. So they walked away from the items that they wanted, gave them the price that they said they wanted, and we went under contract. That's very unusual today to have those kind of bidding wars. Usually you're the only one negotiating with the seller. So you go ahead and you turn your offer in and you see what you can get going on it.
Sure.
And it's also, how hard are you looking? Because look, if something's a really good deal, there's going to be a lot of competition for it, and then they're going to get other offers. But what you can also do is troll. Like I like just looking by days on market sometimes and just calling, okay, here's 10 potential homes that are priced for a lot more than what we need to be at. But maybe if I call all those agents, a couple of them are going to go, oh yeah, we've been talking about, we're getting ready to reduce it, and so sometimes you can be ahead of the curve before everybody else sees it hit the market at a lower price, because you're making calls and kind of feeling out for the people that are more motivated, because motivation level is as important as everything else.
Yes. There's still a lot of unmotivated sellers that are not their house doesn't reflect what's happening in the market. Let's just put it that way. Right? The house
Yeah,
is
that
not
was a very
reflecting.
diplomatic way
Well, you're
to
either
say
in the
that
market,
somebody's completely overpriced.
you're either
Yeah.
in the market or on the market,
Right.
Yeah.
And they're just on the market
Yeah.
and they're just waiting. I'm not going to take that for my house. Right. And it's just not realistic. There was a house that I had a couple, I don't want to mention their names right now because we're going through hell and back with them trying to find them a property and they're in the mid fives. It's very depressing, right? They're in the mid fives and we're trying to find them something. We just can't find the right property. We must have looked at 20 something properties already now, right? I'm going to be showing them a house on Sunday tomorrow, 2 houses tomorrow. And they found a house and they went and looked at it, but they didn't like the layout on something. So they passed on it. Then they came back and said, let's go ahead and turn in an offer. So the offer was only, the offer was 5% below the list price. The house has been on the market at that point about 70 days. They have never reduced the price. And we came in 5% below. Now, the average sale in Palm Beach County for single family home, I'm getting back to the market report, so I'm getting there, right? The average sale is how much? What's the percentage on this? 94.1% is the median sales price for
The
list price to sale price. Yes, 94.
Is that based off their original list price or their most recent list price?
It says original list price on the MLS,
Okay.
so they're doing off the original.
Yeah.
So we were at 5%, not 6%, right? Because the average is 6% less if you're getting 94% of the list price, right? So we were at 5%, 95% of list price. The agent, the seller countered my buyers, and they countered with a different price. And my buyer said, nah, I don't want it for that price. So the agent calls me up, upset. Well, actually, I called the agent. It was very late at night. I had to wait for a long time for the buyers, whether they're going to counter the counter or accept the counter. I finally got the answer. I don't like as a listing agent when people don't tell me what's going on when we're negotiating an offer. So I called them at almost 8 o'clock at night because
That's not bad.
I didn't want to
real estate.
Yeah, I know, but I was trying to be polite. I could have done it the next morning and just say I'll deal with it in the morning. But
yeah,
I
but why let them stress out all night?
Yeah,
Maybe they're waiting to find out.
Yeah, that's how I felt. So I gave him a call. Not a good phone call. So call up the agent, tell him that we're not countering, we're not accepting the counter, and we're not countering back. We're holding at our price. And they were like, I can't believe that your buyer would expect our seller to know that the seller would not counter that price like that, right? And I didn't want to say, hey, do you know what the market stats? We'll give you better than the average median sale price right now. Maybe you should talk to your seller.
5% off is not
It isn't crazy
at all.
Right. It isn't crazy. And there were some issues with the house, right? The roof was much older. There was an unpermitted conversion, right? That was very obvious. AJ, let me ask you a question. So if you took a house and you had a 2-car garage and you took part of that 2-car garage and you built 2 walls and then broke out a little piece of the cube to turn it into like a living space, but it's all done by 2x4s. Nothing's really connected to the ceiling because they wanted to make it easy to tear down. But when you walk in from the house, not the garage, it looks like a regular room and it's done nice.
Right, but in reality, when you look at the back side of the wall, you can tell it's a breakaway wall.
As soon as you walk in the garage, you see these 2 walls that were like done by 2x4 and plywood.
Okay.
Right, but they're not connected to the ceiling, but they're sturdy and everything.
Yeah.
It looks nice. I'm not trying to rag on the house. But what would an appraiser do when you came and looked at that? Because it's so obvious it's a unpermitted conversion.
Right. And it's temporary in nature. That would be one of the main things that I would say in the report. So from what you've described, what I would most likely do would be to put in a cost to cure, to say this is a deficiency because the garage is not functional as it should be. Because if you do add that living, even if it was great walls, even if it was a perfect conversion meant to be permanent, yes, you gain some living area, but you lose the functionality of parking 2 cars in the garage or the area.
Right.
So what's more likely in most markets, what works out better for the value of the home is to say, look, I'm going to say it's $1,000 cost to cure, to hire a couple of college kids to knock these walls away. and restore it to a garage use. And I'm just going to pretend like it's really just a garage.
I see. That's how you would handle it, because I didn't know, because it was so obvious.
Yeah.
That wasn't really their problem. They had a problem with a different part of the layout of the house, and they felt that it was going to be moving walls and everything, and they were concerned about that. So we didn't counter, right? So it's been 2 weeks now, still on the market at the same price that they had it on the market for. No change in price, just sitting there.
I mean, my rule of thumb because when I do an appraisal report, I do the sales, but then I usually have some actives in there or some pending sales. And I don't know what those contract prices are or what the contract prices the home's ultimately going to sell for. My rule of thumb, just with no other things considered, is 3 to 5%. I assume that if it's listed for $100,000, I'm assuming it's going to sell for $3,000 to $5,000 less than that. And that's just a rule of thumb all the time. You never put them in there with like 1%. I mean, sometimes if it's a hot market,
COVID market, right?
Like COVID market, you have to look at it just like you did. You came out with the 6%, but we have, it's part of our normal software market analysis to give us that stat.
And the interesting part about this thing that I turned the offer in, the buyers told me the number they wanted to turn in. They weren't doing 95% of list price. They just felt that's what they were willing to pay for that house in that condition right now. So it's just a coincidence that they came up with the number that was very
right where you
reasonable.
Yeah, right where you would expect it to be. So and I was thinking to myself, those poor sellers, because I've met the sellers now twice, and a really nice family, and they really want to move, and they're just sitting there, and it's like, I just wish that they had better advice or something, because I think that maybe they need a certain amount on the back end, and but they didn't tell us that. They didn't say, hey, we need this or we can't do it. That's why we're holding tight.
I realize this isn't a reasonable thing to say, but we just can't move. And sometimes that's what it is.
And sometimes like the house I have on 780 Orchid, we set the price because that's what they need to do, what they need to do in the back end. So it's going to be $445. So, but we would tell if somebody came in lower, we would be the first ones to say, hey, look, I know your 430 prices looks reasonable on 445, but let me tell you why we're going to counter back at full, because we don't want people you don't want the buyers to think, oh, the sellers are being unreasonable or PO'd or whatever, and that kind of thing.
Well, because you expect that 5% reduction or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But like you said, and that's the thing a lot of times, especially with the ones that are in not bad shape, but less desirable for whatever reason, you price them at a good price because you want everybody to pick it up, because you need to sell it fast or whatever the situation is. And in those cases, you've got a much tighter list to sale ratio, closer to 100%.
Absolutely. Now let's get into a little bit more of the market stats. The first thing I want to do is talk about sales. Now we're talking mostly single family homes right now, but Dade County had a 10.6% increase in the number of sales, not prices, but the number of homes moved compared to last year at this time last year. Palm Beach, it's on fire, 14.3% this March this March compared to last March. Martin County, 21.4%. But Martin County, I don't really count because there's so few homes that sold in Martin County. A couple of homes can really skew
a big difference,
the median sales price and everything. So Martin County's their own animal. I love Martin County, don't get me wrong, but you can't really tell what's happening in the market because there's so few sales that
the more data points you have, the smoother the more accurate your projections like that are.
Broward County is seeing a 3.3% year over year for March increase in sales, but this was the surprising one to me. St. Lucie County, which is normally a very strong county, Martin County has been kind of seeing better days behind them right now. 1.1% decrease on the amount of sales in St. Lucie County. Now, the reason why I'm saying Martin County is usually so strong is because of the affordability. Everybody looked at St. Lucie County. Did I just say Martin?
Yeah.
Everybody said St. Lucie County is the affordability place. If I can't afford in Palm, even if I can't afford in Broward, I could always afford in Port St. Lucie. But now we're seeing Port St. Lucie with home prices about $400,000 median average.
Well, it's turning into Brevard.
Yes, it is. Yeah, you're right.
And, speaking of stats getting skewed, because of course the damn lies statistics. So I'm always listening for what the source of the info might be.
Mm-hmm.
Just think about this with St. Lucie. They have a massive 55 and older community there, right?
Mm-hmm.
That whole project, like the last time I was there, that road just keeps going to the west, right into the swamp.
I can't believe how far west it's going now out there.
So that's got to be skewing statistics.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I don't know how. I'm just sitting here thinking about it for the first time, but that's what I'm always thinking. And that's why I like slices of the market.
Right. Now, here's the next thing, prices, okay? This is, I'm going to read the stats and tell you what it means. Okay, so Broward County, the median home price for March over March of the year before was negative 5.5%. Dade County was only up 0.6% compared to a year ago March. Palm Beach County 3.2%, but St. Lucie County was 3% higher. Martin County 2.8%. So we're not really seeing great price growth right now. We're kind of seeing what you would normally expect for average price increases year over year.
Well, we just talked about how a lot of the offers are probably going to be 3 to 5% below the list. So we're not seeing.
But that's almost always though.
Yeah, But we start seeing people overpay, and we'll start to see some numbers.
Well, it's where's the list price level? Because like after 2023, when things died down, everybody was still asking more and more and more, but the sales prices weren't there. So then your list to sale price ratios would drop down.
So with these price declines or small price appreciation, Broward saw less sales and median price drop. So Broward's kind of like the weak link right now out of the group, but everybody else just seeing kind of like okay price appreciation, which everybody should be happy with 3%. If you get 3% every single year, that's really good. And people go, 3%. I'm like, you don't understand the math behind housing. You can't expect it to grow 10%, 20% every year. It doesn't happen like that.
If it does, there's going to be other major corrections and problems. And 3%'s like healthy, I think.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's like a healthy market, and it makes things not. I know we're at unaffordable already, but if you had normal 3%, 3 to 5% price appreciation year over year, most incomes could keep up with that. But right now we're so unaffordable. So we're seeing a flattening right now, and what they're saying is that price we're in a price stabilization phase is what the MLS is saying about their stats, right? The multiple listing service. Now inventory, we've seen inventory be, I'll never forget, we had one time where we had inventory where it was like 9 weeks of inventory for St. Lucie County or something. Inventory's gone up and down a lot over the last 2 years, but basically Broward 4.8 months of inventory, Miami-Dade 5.7, St. Lucie 5.2, Palm Beach 4.7, Martin 4.4. All of that is a lean towards buyer's market, right? It's leaning buyer's market, not a strong buyer's market, but it's leaning buyer's market. We're not seeing it where the sellers can put their house at any price and they expect that it's going to sell. You got to price it correctly in today's market if you want to sell it. But it is kind of buyer friendly right now. Remember that, buyers. That's another reason to not shut down emotionally if you want to buy a home. Now, homes are taking a lot longer to sell than let's say 2022.
Which also helps the buyers.
Broward, 81 days to get it this is to sell, not under contract, but 81 days. Broward, Dade 86, Palm Beach 83, St. Lucie 99, Martin 99. So what we're seeing is buyers are taking their time, right? And so pricing and the condition of the home and the presentation of home and the marketing of home really, really matter now more than ever for that. Cash buyers. We're seeing, let me see cash buyers. Okay, hold on. Why is it saying that very high? Okay, I don't understand this. Oh, I see. The dash is not negative. Okay, Broward County, 23% of the sales for single-family homes in Broward County were cash. Miami-Dade County, 26, so about a quarter of the homes, right? 2.5 out of 10 homes.
It does seem like a lot, doesn't it?
Palm Beach, 45%.
What?
Mm-hmm. Martin
Almost
County,
half.
almost half. Martin County, 44%. St. Lucie, 28. This is coming directly from the MLS stats for the Florida Realtors
finding that to
Association.
be astonishing.
Well, I do too, but what's happening is it's the luxury market is cash driven, and that's why.
Well, what about, okay, when it's giving those percentages, a lot of these, I was thinking the opposite. A lot of these 55 and older, low dollar communities might require you to pay cash, or people just generally do pay cash for those.
That's true too. I didn't think about that. The lower condo market or something, that would be all cash a lot of times too.
And yeah, I agree. Like, especially in that luxury market, in some markets, people buy cash and then they'll finance as part of a larger, package they're doing.
Well, I should say that I apologize. The way they wrote that was incorrect. That's a 45% increase over last year, not 45%. So, but it's still big. Out of the 1,434 homes in Palm Beach County that sold in March, 646 were cash.
Yeah, it's still way more.
That's still a lot, right? Still a lot.
But I still think it's the lower end driving that, because if there's, more than the upper end, because if they're saying that as a total, every little one of those sales, there might be 1,000 sales for 80 grand for Century Village, or you know what I mean?
Yes.
And those are very often cash.
Now, the other thing to point out for sellers is that we're seeing very strong sales compared to the last year. 1,434 homes, for example, in Palm Beach County. That's the highest in over a year.
That's what I've been seeing too. And I'm like, the last time I was in here that we were talking about this, I kept showing you graphs and showing like these rapidly, highly increasing inventory levels with relatively flat sales volume and pending sales. Now what I'm seeing is a flattening of that inventory level. Like, it's elevated, but it's not getting worse.
Right.
And the sales volume and the pending sales are picking up. Not like crazy, but they're going in the right direction. Way better than it was last time.
The last time we had 1,400 sales plus, 1,400 plus, you'd have to go back to March 2024. Right. So we're actually seeing.
You say that like it's the 1900s.
I know, right? Back in the olden days, right? We wore wooden shoes back then.
2 years ago, man. Come on.
Just to give you an idea, 1,434 in March. January in Palm Beach County was 937. So there has been that's almost a 40% jump just from January.
There's definitely more volume going.
So there's more volume, but we did see it slow down during that last couple of weeks when the interest rates started spiking up. We saw a lot less people applying for mortgages. We're seeing more people applying mortgages now. Just that quarter point drop.
It sounds to me like people are finally realizing, like, all right, my pipe dream of getting a 3% interest rate is gone. I'm not going to cling to that anymore. My reality is I'm going to be in the sixes, and let me go ahead and just do this, because time to stop being such a fool.
I'm still astonished on this cash sale thing, though. If it's that high of a percentage, like, none of those people are worried about interest rates on their mortgage. And if it's 45% of the buyers out there,
no, 45%.
It was an increase of 45%.
But then you said, but it's still high, and it's 600 out of 1,400.
Yeah,
that's
still 600. Yeah,
that's true.
I don't have my calculator, and I don't want to wait for you to do it, but
that'll take forever. I'll probably shut off the whole system. So it's. I'm trying to look here for the $1 million market right now.
That's a big number.
That's almost half.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. It's probably 45%. Yeah.
That's what it
So
sounds like.
$1 million or more. So $1 million or more, 410 sold of the 1,400. So out of the 1,400, 400 were $1 million plus. And then for, let's just say, condos under 200. Well, I don't have condos in here. I'm sorry. I can't do that. So about 400 of the homes were $1 million or more in Palm Beach County.
That's crazy,
of the 1,400. Yeah. Is that a high number, AJ?
I mean, I don't know. It's
I have it broken down even better.
I've been here since 1971. Yes, that's an extremely high number.
So
$1 million.
Yeah, so here's a breakdown of that. I've never seen this chart before. It's called $1 million spotlight. Have you ever seen this on the MLS? This is kind of interesting. $1 million to 1.25 million, 85 homes. 1.25 to 1.5, 67. 1.5 to 2, 74. 2 million to 3 million, 75. 3 million to 5 million, 58. 5 million to 10 million, 27. And 10 million or more. How many people do you think last March bought a house for $10 million or more? How many homeowners?
Just in March?
Just in March.
15.
I want to say 5, but I think it's going to be a lot higher.
24 bought 10 million or more. Right? Is that crazy?
Or one guy bought 24 homes.
Yeah. And that could have happened. That could have happened
sounds
building the
like 10 million
compound,
more,
right?
yeah.
Building the compound. So it just shows you an idea of what's happening in the market. And I'm going to be starting a new weekly podcast with Chris Peterson, who's coming on my team. And I think we're going to call it the Florida Luxury Collective. And it's just going to be an hour-long podcast. Well, all we do is talk about the luxury market and what's going on in luxury in the area.
Nice.
And I think it's going to be very interesting. And we're going to be getting into all this in really deep detail. But I found this to be really interesting, this stuff. And so based on all this, what's this? Wow, they have a whole thing called $1 Million Spotlight now on everything in Palm Beach County.
Yeah, I want to look at that with you later.
Yeah, that's very interesting to me because I've never seen that before.
300 sales a year that are $10 million or more.
Yeah.
How much money is that? What is that? 30 billion? 3 billion?
That's $3 billion.
3 billion? 3 billion
with the
a year.
B. With the B.
In a state, and that's just in those.
Yeah, and this is my whole argument that Palm Beach County is becoming like Martha Vineyard, and all that kind of stuff up there.
Easy for you to say.
But I really think it's turning into that where it's just getting more and more expensive. You don't go into neighborhoods where you're buying a house for $500,000, tear it down, and you put a $4.5 million property on the lot and not expect to change the demographics of what's happening in our area.
Yes, but we're going to be talking, I think, a little bit about West Palm and some of this redevelopment area later in the show.
Mm-hmm.
You can go 100 yards from the edge of that project, and the values don't move that much.
Oh yeah.
So my
and
point
you can get shot.
but
you got good drugs. You got good drugs.
If it's not that bad, I know what you're saying, but my point is, yes, we have this super wealthy trend that is like just crazy to think about, but it's not the whole county, and it's not, it's a very small sliver. It's all either in an equestrian neighborhood in Wellington, or it's on an airstrip, or it's by the beach. It's not like it's everywhere,
Yet. That's what I was going to say. I'm saying yet.
It's a pretty big county. There's a lot of real estate.
It is a big county, but look what's happening. Who would have thought that look at Mark Wahlberg. He just bought that gigantic, enormous property west of the Turnpike in Delray.
Yeah.
West of the Turnpike in Delray.
Yeah.
Right? That was farmland when I started here in 87.
For sure.
Right?
There are, it's not just the airstrip and the equestrian.
Right.
There's definitely a lot of other
That's what I'm saying. It's going to pop. My prediction, I understand where you're coming from, and he's born and raised, so you probably listen to AJ more than me. I've only been down here since 74. But the thing is when I saw that happening, it's like they're going to go out as far west as they want to go out, and they got the money. And let me tell you, when I was a newspaper reporter in the 90s, it was all about saving farmland and making sure it was protected and that we had enough water, like all that stuff. And now it's 30 years later, and all those commissioners are gone. All those commissioners, I know, right? And all those commissioners are gone. A lot of them were Republicans back then. They all went to jail, right? A lot of them went to jail. Tony Mazzotti, Mary McCarty, remember all them?
No, you were a reporter, so you were way into that
They were like Warren Newell. all of them got thrown in jail for working with developers and doing corrupt things and stuff like that.
I do remember hearing a lot of
They were
news
so many
stories
people
about
got arrested and thrown in jail back then. But they were all, quote, trying to protect the farmland and water aquifer stuff.
Yeah,
And now they're just cutting deals with all those people are gone. They were like, that was so 30 years ago, right? And now they're moving in. So I'm not as optimistic as AJ is. I really think this is just going to get wealthier and wealthier. The Wall Street South, that's one of the things that's probably going to be our first podcast, is explaining Wall Street South and how West Palm is going in.
I was going to say, that's totally tied into that whole West Palm redevelopment.
So, AJ, we got about 6 minutes before we take the break, and on the back end, I want to talk about the NORA district and all that stuff going on. But from these stats, what my big takeaway is that we really do have two economies right now. If you're in the luxury market, things are moving pretty quickly, relatively quickly.
It's
more competition than you would expect. If you're at the very low price point and you're not a condo, I'm assuming, my opinion is if you're a very low price point on a condo, they're very hard to find, but when you do have them, they sell relatively quickly because everybody wants them. So what do you think is happening in the market right now?
Well, you know me, I always like to try to take slices of the market because, there's different submarkets. So I ran some stats this morning. I'll go over some of them.
Yeah, please.
So Sandalwood, which I love because they got a lot of data. If you look at the last 12 months, it's a pretty consistent range. It's really values haven't really gone up or down much at all. But what I did was I ran these stats for 1 year and then I ran them for 3 years. And what amazed me was Sandalwood had this drop off like 18 months ago. And I didn't know that. I guess I just haven't done any appraisals in there lately. And it's fine right now. But like maybe 21 months ago, all of a sudden there was like a drop off and I hadn't expected that, but it's stable now. This really seems like an anomaly to me. I haven't seen this kind of chart on any other neighborhoods I've been doing. Now, Century Village, again, pretty consistent over the last year. But if you look at it on a 3-year trend, and I think Century Village is a good indication of the 55 and older condos. And this is where a lot of people they've been hurt by the insurance increases and the
assessments
and the engineer and the assessments associated with them. Because like my cousin was looking last year and he wanted the HOA fee was the most important part for us looking. It wasn't the price. He goes, I'm on a fixed income. I can only, so if the HOA fee is $600-800 a month, I can't do that. So that's what is happening in a lot of these 55 and older. So those have generally declined over the last year. They're continuing to see a lot of inventory over the last 3 years. Really, they've declined. Not crazy, not like dropping off the end of the world, but worse than the rest of the market. And again, they're almost all cash. So if we looked at the statistics on that and mixed it in with everything else that's cash, it skews things. So that's what I mean by a separate submarket. My other thing that I love to look at is the acreage, because there's a lot of data. So I set this up a year or two ago for the show, and been running it again and again. So this is built between 1990 and 2010, 2-car garage, 1,600 to 2,400 under air. And then I ran it. I ran just that. And it was kind of erratic and I couldn't really, and so then I ran it with pools and then again without pools and it totally smoothed everything out. So both of those, the no pool acreage for that statistic has been pretty consistent range, hasn't really gone up or down much. What has gone up a bit was the homes with over the last 3 years, if I look at those with no pool, it is on an upward trend and more significantly than that 3% we just talked about. But if I look at it over the last year, it's not really, there's a little bit of an uptick, but it's not as significant as it's been over the last several years.
Yeah, I've noticed that in the acreage, here's the problem I see in the acreage, because I've been out there a lot lately, right? Look at a lot of homes, right? In the mid fives and under.
Yeah.
The problem I see with the people out there is most of them are very tired there's so many honey-do lists. I don't find a lot of properties that are super, super tight, like really.
I would say the majority, you're correct, but I'm also seeing a trend. I've seen some of the nicest houses in the acreage that I've ever seen out there in the last year.
Well, there are gorgeous homes out there, but not in the mid fives.
No.
Yeah, not in the mid fives.
That's true. Yeah, mid fives. Yeah, that's
like mid fives or lower, right? And mid fives used to be the higher end, or kind of the higher end. Like in mid fives in the acreage, you used to be able to get. Am I wrong about this? Like pretty nice homes.
I'm looking at the price range right now for what I had run: 3-bedroom, 2-bath, all that stuff I just said. The ones with no pool, the price range is basically right around 600 to 650, 660.
Right.
So that's already out of your range. And that's just a 3-2, 1,500 minimum under air. Like it's not but that was also 1990 to 2010 builds.
Right.
I did that to be consistent in my analysis because there's more data.
Right.
But now that you mentioned it, a lot of that stuff is pre-1990, and that stuff, a lot of that's
so they very, very worn out.
Yeah.
And it's very hard when I'm showing properties to this one family, and I'm like, if you buy this house, it's probably worth 600, 625 for sure once you get it back into shape again.
Right.
And if you're buying it, at 540, there's $70,000-$80,000 of potential growth if the house was in better condition. But you'd probably have to spend $70,000-$80,000. So you're not really getting a deal on that. And the sellers are very unrealistic as to what their houses are worth. They're putting their house on the market for high five, 580, 590, 599. And they need everything. They got a 22-year-old roof, and the AC is 13 years old, and the water heater's rusting.
They're not pricing it in.
And they're not, and the house top dollar is worth, once it's fixed up and everything, it's worth $625. And then you think, there's no money here for me to do any of this.
But you know what I hate too is the opposite.
What's that?
Is that people show up, and let's say you've got a house that would be worth $600,000 if it was fixed up, but it needs a ton of work. It needs $100,000 worth of work. So you price it at whatever, $5, or $450 to give them some incentive. But they walk in and go, okay, you're asking $450. In their head, they go through $100,000 worth of work, and then they offer you $350.
Yeah.
And
that's
too.
ridiculous. Yeah, that's totally ridiculous. And then I always use the line. I always use that line. Hey, AJ, thank you for your $350 offer. Can I ask you a question? And I always say, I got a smile on my face now because I don't want to think I'm like really mad. And they go, yeah. And I go, so exactly what part of the house are you buying for $350? Right? There's like, well, the house needs everything. It's like, well, go find another house. Then you should go find another house that you think you can get $350 for $350 in the acreage, right? Because it's just real unrealistic. And a lot of buyers, when they come in, they think automatically, no matter what the price is, they just assume that you're going to have this huge steep drop. And to them, 10%, 15% is not very uncommon in their mind. Oh, if it's at 500, maybe I can get it for 450.
I was just thinking that. Yeah, that is totally the thing.
And you have to explain to them, well, this house, when it's fixed up, it's worth 625, right? I'm just using that as an example.
Just arbitrary numbers.
Yeah. But it is really hard out there. If you're on a budget in the mid fives out there, you have to look a lot.
You do.
So the pool homes for the same stats that I just called out, those range from basically 640 to 7.
Yes.
So if you pool home 3.2, 1990 to 2010, that's not that luxury of a home, but it's $750,000.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's really, and I can't believe how much we're seeing people buying lots out there or tearing down houses. But really, I don't even know why you would tear the house down. There's so many lots for sale.
Because the fill for those homes,
yeah, that's
for the
true.
lots
It's already
left
done.
is so expensive.
Yeah, but wouldn't you have to add extra fill when you go from 1,200 square foot to 5,000 square foot house?
Yeah, but not $50,000 to $80,000 worth of fill.
Okay.
Wow. Maybe 15. 20.
Yeah. I didn't know it was that much.
Wow.
It can be
amazing.
Well, that's the reason why those lots aren't built on yet, because they were the least attractive, because they were the lowest.
Right. Exactly.
The lowest meaning, geographically.
Right.
Yeah.
But we are seeing the mega McMansions
Yeah.
going over there now. And
Even the ones like, a 3,000 under air house, that's not much larger or really any larger than what's been getting built out there the last 10 years.
yeah,
But the difference now is it's a metal roof. It's got more profile, frustration on the front, longer driveway, and maybe that driveway is something special, and the ceilings are whatever, 12, 14 foot ceilings, the doors are, 8, 10-foot doors or whatever, just the insides, everything about it,
And
then
the turnabout in the front with the fountain that says "The world is yours."
I know, right?
Yeah.
Right.
that it just made me remember Vanilla Ice had that that home renovation show.
Yeah, sure.
The one he did on the water in Lantana on Atlantic, that was, he did one on the saltwater.
Okay.
It's gone. They knocked that down.
Tore it down
Completely.
Yeah, they tore it down afterwards.
Boy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that thing sold for, I don't know, it's millions.
Yeah.
4 or 5 million. Something.
Yeah. So it's we are in a market that's a K-shaped market for absolutely. So takeaways: if you're a seller, price it right. Price it right. You really got to know your numbers. I'm really, really good at that. If you want to know numbers, call me. If you don't want to call me and you want to get an appraiser, go call AJ. But know your numbers for real. And the other thing is, if you're a buyer, I don't think it's going to get better for you than what it is right now, because if the market changes, like if we do see interest rates drop, which I'm not expecting, forget about it. You're going to be in bidding wars and everything's going to go up. I'm hoping that the interest rates don't drop, to be honest with you. I know people are going to be mad at me for saying that, but if they drop the interest rates, we're going to have a housing crisis.
Yeah,
right.
affordability.
I like the way it is right now.
I think
for my job, it makes it much easier. When everything's going crazy, it's really hard for me to do it.
We'll have a housing crisis if we get interest rates below 5. It's going to go crazy, and it'll be good for me. It'll be good for me, but it won't be good for the community. And that's what we're worried about.
Major volatility, like it's not the stock market; it's where people live. It's too much. It's too much stress on everybody.
I was talking to somebody from. By the way, shout out. The reason why Mike isn't here today is Mike's mom is having a birthday. Happy birthday, Barb.
Oh, happy birthday.
She's from Iowa. That's why I'm bringing this up. I was talking to somebody from Iowa, and I asked them, not Des Moines, I forget what city, but I asked them, I said, when you guys live out there and stuff, do you think about real estate the way the Floridians think about real estate?
Right.
And they're like, no, you buy your house and you forget about it, right? You're not thinking about, did my value of my house grow or not? As long as I could afford the mortgage payment, I'm cool, right? And we're not built that way. Our DNA in Florida is just completely different. Everybody tries to deal like it's a stock market thing.
Yeah.
And it isn't. It's a place for you to raise your family, enjoy gatherings, raise your family,
and enjoy the equity.
And the equity is just a bonus. It's better than renting.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Anyway, I don't think we are going to take the break because we're so late. We've only got 20 minutes. So let's get right into the NORA district.
All right.
So let me just start off.
Florida Talk Real Estate is .com. You can always reach out to the entire team. Pros, experts in their field. We call it the one-stop shop for a reason. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Buying a home, selling a home, stuck with a home, you don't know what to do. You need professional guidance. Anything that touches the world of real estate. Remember, FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. We're on Facebook and YouTube. If you're there with us live streaming right now, thank you very much. If not, always remember, go consume away and hit the share and like button. You can absolutely change lives, including your very own, with the pros of FloridaTalkRealEstate.com.
So the city of West Palm has been working on this for quite a while. And there's an area called the NORA district, which stands for North Railroad Avenue. I thought it was the North Railroad Association, so I was way off on that.
Can I exit for just like 2 minutes?
You sure can.
Thank you.
Okay. So it's so what they're doing, this is a very blighted area of the city. And what they're trying to do is to gentrify it and to bring it back to life. Now, this area of the town, it has a very deep historical roots for the African-American community, for blacks that live in
West Palm in general.
Yeah, for West Palm.
It's quite a historic area, you know.
Actually, it is. And one of the things that they have there, I think, was the first African-American bar that was there. It was a historical bar. I know there's been some controversy about who's going to run that bar or whatever, but they're bringing that back to life. They put an amphitheater out there. They brought in a bright line station, which was a big,
that's a big deal.
a very big deal that they're actually putting a bright line station in that area, which just told you that they're planning on major things happening out there.
Because there was already a bright line station not far away. So for them to do another stop there.
They think that's going to become a new destination area for West Palm, just like City Place is, Clematis Street. They're hoping the NORA district is going to be the next big thing.
Well, let's tell everybody where it's at.
So
So it's south of Palm Beach Lakes, and it's north of Flagler Memorial Bridge. So the Northern Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in between the railroad line and what road is
Dixie and let's see, Dixie
and the railroad
Dixie
line.
and the railroad, FEC
and
railroad.
So you still got the park to the east of that, between there and the water. And then to the west, you just have residential housing. To the north is that's a Good Samaritan Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And then to the south, that's like the Ben and all the, the beginning of West Palm there.
And I think I read somewhere where they're going to move the hospital.
Oh, really?
And they're going to create a new hospital, and then they're going to use that land for development.
Ooh, that would be interesting.
That would be very interesting to me if that happened. I just read about that a couple of days ago. I'm so behind on everything because I've been so busy with my customers. I've had a really hard time.
That's got to be a long-term project, moving that hospital.
Yeah, I would assume so. That hospital needs to be moved. I'm sorry. I'm not I've been in that hospital. I've had surgery there. I'm not a big fan of that hospital. So I want it to go. Every time I drive by that hospital, I have bad feelings about it.
My sister was born there. They said that my dad owed them $14. And to this day, he has not paid the $14. That was in probably 68. It's still, he fought it on his credit for years. So I was born at St. Mary's because I couldn't go there.
You were banned.
Yeah, because
your family was banned.
Yeah, $14.
That's funny.
But you got to stand on principle.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to pull up. Oh my gosh, am I going to have to do this by memory? I'm really worried I have to do this by memory. This is not going to be good. Don't sue me, everybody. So with the NORA district, here it is. Okay, hold on.
What are you trying to look up?
I'm trying to look up I have a map of all the things that are happening over there, and I can't find where the map is in Google Maps.
Well, the one thing we just talked about, which I'll talk about while you're looking there.
Please.
They just announced one of the NFL players, I think, is backing a affordable housing condominium mixed use. So that is also just east of the tracks, but it's a little bit further to the north. It's between 27th and 28th, and the north end of this new NORA district is at like 12th. So it'll be 15 blocks to the north. It's kind of the same east-west direction. It'll be on the west side of Northwood Shores. But they're advertising that as more like for the workers, affordability, because that's the thing with all these wealthy properties, all these $10 million homes and all these downtown, the Southern Wall Street and everything. Somebody's got to serve these people.
Yeah, they do.
Because they're not going to serve themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you that. Somebody needs to serve them. So.
Absolutely. And it's rough enough that they're pushing us more and more west for sure. I love that plan of development right there. That's fantastic.
Yeah. And you know what else it's been a big thing in the news lately is what's that bar on the water east of Clematis?
Bradley's.
Yeah, they've been talking about doing something there too, right? Making that like more of a walkway. So they're really focusing on this area of West Palm right now.
They're talking about taking away Bradley's, and Roxy's looks like it might go. Those are like two of the main issues.
Those are landmark
watering holes in that area. Roxy's is going because apparently there was a lawsuit about a bar fight, and they didn't pay it. And now it might be going up for auction.
I saw they had locked the doors on it, right?
Yeah. No, I heard that it was still open, but the sheriff's office owns it now. There's a sign that says the sheriff's office owns this right now.
They own a rooftop bar?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Right.
Nothing could go wrong with that.
Yeah. So
I see no issues.
sorry, hold on here.
That's too bad.
Still
Yeah,
looking.
Roxy,
So
this
if
is
they're
awesome.
doing,
Oh, here it is. I found it. Yay.
so that area where they're talking about, like you were just saying with the bars, that's only 5 blocks to the south of this new NORA district, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if they're trying to make that more walkable, make Flagler more of a walkable road, as opposed to a automobile pedestrian, it's just for pedestrians. If that's what they're talking about, I think it is. But no matter what it is they're talking about, it's going to be doing more development, more community focus, more things for people to do. Because that's the thing that I heard was these Wall Street guys, they like living in New York because there's a lot of things to do there. It's walkable. It's an urban environment. And, we're getting there, but we're not.
We're
that kind of
not
level.
there. Stephen Ross, owner of the Dolphins, also the Related Group, I think is called Related Group.
That's who
Stephen. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, is that who the guy is that's doing the
Well,
loan?
no, Stephen Ross is he was a developer for City Place also.
Okay.
And then what he did is just he tore down the comedy club over in City Place on that part of the complex, and he's putting a $300 million tower there. That tower was specifically built for the Wall Street Southers, because what he's saying is that he really believes that a lot of people from Wall Street really are going to come here. A lot of these companies.
That's the hood right there.
I
just
know,
to the north
but
of it.
so was City Place,
right?
But so is City Place.
I know it always has been.
Yeah.
That's why there's always been the hilarious part of that is like, you just walk around the corner and that's like hood right there.
Well, City Place, before it was City Place, that used to be the myrtle capital of the county. And when I was a reporter, between 70 and 120 people were murdered every year in the county back when I was a reporter. And a great majority of them were right there in City Place.
That was the national crack epidemic, right?
Yes, it was the height of the crack epidemic.
That's when that really got bad.
Yeah, it got really, really bad. So they eminent domained everything there and turned it into City Place. Now they feel it's tired.
Nice.
Yeah, so
yeah.
They're
we're gonna build this tower. Come on down.
Yeah, so
you
they're
can still get cracked though.
Yeah, yeah, you can still get it.
Yes,
Yeah, that's one of the benefits. So the crack is really cheap here. He's building that $300 million tower, and the reason why he said he's doing it is because the Wall Streeters are not satisfied with the type of housing that are down here.
Do you think they're going to be satisfied when they realize who their neighbors right to the north are?
I think it's all blowing up, Johnny.
But that's where this new NORA area is going to. That's the thing they're doing.
They're spreading it out.
I agree, though. That specific section just north of City Place, I had somebody call me, had to be maybe 3 years ago now. And it was an investor, and they were asking about that particular pocket. And because they didn't know the area, and I go, no, it's, you walk out of City Place, and as soon as you go across, he goes, it looks like as soon as you cross the street, it's a completely different, I go, yeah, it's a completely different thing.
Yep.
Just to give you an idea of some of the stuff that's going on out there, 821 North Rosemary Avenue by the railroad, they did all this infrastructure to get ready for sewage and plumbing and all that to get everything going. Rosemary Avenue, they did the city, I think with state funds, did all the streetscaping to get everything ready. That's already been done. They're even doing something on 700 North Tamarind. Tamarind is still a very Tamarind. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
But I know it's a Florida guy.
Yeah, I just spit it out immediately. Crazy. What are you doing? Yeah, no, it's Tamarind. Sorry.
Tamarind. I haven't driven the whole length of Tamarind for a long time since I was a crime reporter, and I thought it got a lot better. There's areas where I was like, please don't have me stop here. I do not want to stop at this spot right now. Like if there was a stop sign or a traffic light, I was like, please don't want to get me through this neighborhood.
There's some danger zones for sure.
Again, and that's in between where they're talking about this new condo
this
tower.
Whole
in
thing
NORA.
is going to be this whole area is going to be
they've been chipping away at it for a long time, Jim. Yeah. I don't know that it's going to sweep across like.
Well, let's Music Art Park is already completed. There's a 320 unit multifamily project proposed. Where is this one? I can't tell you where, but it's in that area. 413 North Rosemary Avenue, 138 unit apartment complex. 1 West Palm, currently under construction. Completion date supposed to be this year, but I don't think it's happening. Flagler has Banyan Square under construction. We have a 520, the total NORA district for one of these projects is 520 million. The square, is right by the Kravis Center. There's nothing going on over there. $100 million luxury apartment complex called the Tortoise Properties is going in there right now. 250 million, One West Palm, 550 North Quadrille. I think that's Jeff Green's project that hasn't really, he's very late on it.
The one on Quadrille?
Yeah. Quadrille. The Heart and Soul Park is created over there. You have the Bright Line going in there. There's so much going on over there right now. If you're looking for something, one of the things I would recommend, if you're looking for investment stuff, you could I think it was Mark talking. Was it Mark or somebody else talking about Section 8?
Yeah, that was Mark.
That would be a great area to find Section 8 housing and just wait for everybody to catch up with you.
If you grab some of these areas, and that's what I would say, get a multifamily and, fix it up, get good rents and hold on to it. And hopefully it appreciates, a lot because they're developing it.
You see what's going up around it.
But what's going to come up, and it already is coming up, is yes, they're talking about this condo project for low income or, affordable housing. It's not low income. It's affordable housing.
Yeah. Cause you said 80,000.
80,000.
Yeah.
No, maximum.
Oh, maximum.
Max 80.
Yeah. It was, I think it was like 40 to 80 a year was the income level.
We need that.
But my point is this, this whole neighborhood west of the NORA district and north of Clematis, people live there, and these, you don't just get to redevelop the area with a bunch of 1930s through 1960s homes in there. So those people are either going to have to be motivated to sell by getting paid enough, or they're going to have to fix up those homes as they sit. And then they're only going to go up so much because it's only a 1,200 square foot, whatever, I don't care how nice you make it, unless you're like off Atlantic and Delray, we're on Bankers Row or something. It's not going to go up that much. It's in this. So I think what's more likely to be focused on soon is affordable housing in those same neighborhoods. If they're going to do that, like they're doing with the condo building. But I'm just saying, I don't see how that section that's west of NORA, that's north of Clematis, is going to get any better just because NORA is going in on the other side of the tracks with all this multi-million-dollar upper end of the K. The other side of the tracks is the lower end of the K. It's not like they're going to get a job and all of a sudden they're going to have $500,000, because this district is here now.
But it might be like that GL Homes project on 40th Street where they quietly gobbled up all the homes around it and then turned it into this intercoastal project, right? And they, what did they do? I think from Broadway to the intercoastal, they picked a street for the entrance of the community, and they bought every home on the left and right side of the street so they have an entranceway to get in there.
I think that's why this investor was talking to me a few years ago about this area, because they were starting to buy. Maybe they'll Airbnb them, maybe they'll do whatever. And that was a few years ago. So it's looking pretty good right now.
Maybe some of those older homes will turn into Airbnbs.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Will. Some of them will.
Some of them will.
That is a use right there, because like the Bend is right there, right? So let's say you're going to an event at the Bend, whatever, it's a wedding reception, everybody's staying there, but you're from out of town and you don't have the money, and maybe you're a family of 5, a lot cheaper to maybe get an Airbnb right around the corner.
Now that I'm thinking about it, from Dade County all the way up to, let's say, Martin County or St. Lucie, let's go even all the way up to St. Lucie, I don't think there's any other area that has more development going on than
like
this area right now.
Urbanized?
Yeah, I think this is it. Because I don't think Dade is doing anything that's like totally amazing right now.
I don't know anything about south of Boca.
Yeah, and you're such a Palm Beach County guy.
I am, man.
But
I go a little north.
But Broward County, I know they're doing developments and stuff down there. What was that? That village? There was a good music village with strip restaurants and stuff, and I can't remember what the heck it was called. We used to go watering home, Fort Lauderdale. It was something village. But anyway, they're turning that into regentrifying that whole area and everything. I can't remember something
Village.
I will say the Airbnbs has helped gentrify some of these neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Because they're, as much as I hate a lot of things about them, they do make them look nice and they're sprinkled throughout the neighborhood. So that might elevate the appeal of that neighborhood for somebody who's just reselling their home, having nothing to do with Airbnbs, you know?
The road just west of the Florida Railroad tracks, FEC Railroad tracks. I don't remember the main road. It's like a collector road to get in and out of the neighborhood. But the thing that's parallel with the west side of the railroad, I remember going out there and all the houses on the railroad side were your back door was the railroad, right? And it was like,
it's crazy.
Very close. I mean, your teeth have to rattle when the train goes by.
Yeah.
But all those homes were always super, super beat up. They didn't, a lot of them were abandoned. The ones that weren't abandoned, they were rentals and they were slumlords.
Yeah.
When I drove out there recently, like you'd have slumlord abandoned, beautiful home.
Yeah.
Slumlord,
those
beautiful
are the
home.
Airbnbs.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is right on their backyard is the railroad, and people are shoving money into those houses and are making them nice. And if that's happening, you know that things are moving. So that area is a really up and coming area that's going to be totally like 10 years from now, you're not even going to recognize. Just like 10 years before City Place, you could never imagine that City Place was going to be there.
But the neighborhood directly north of City Place looked exactly the same 10 years later.
It did. It did not spill over. But I think the reason why is that developers want to expand now. So they're deciding, hey, let's go ahead and tackle this and tackle that, just like when they tackled City Place.
No, it's great. How do you eat an elephant, right?
And by the way, I'm
I'm
so glad they're calling it City Place again, because I did not like Rosemary Square and all those other names they had. Just call it City Place and leave it alone.
City Place.
Look, I think it's a good thing. I do think that, like you said, really you got to go pretty far from West Palm to get to another area that's as urbanized. You know,
with as much activity going on right now.
Well, yeah, we have a few things going on. You know, that there's wealth moving into the area. There's these developers that are putting up these monsters. You know, these projects that nothing like that was there. You know, it's just amazing.
And the other thing they were complaining about, the stuff that was built 10, 15 years ago that were the newer towers. The Wall Streeters didn't like the type of layout and design of those apartment complexes or the condos. They didn't like them. So they're trying to make it more Manhattan-y, if you will.
Right.
You know, is what they're trying to do.
I think in the buildings and in the surrounding areas.
And they're surrounded for walkability and everything.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really, really interesting.
They've been doing that. I mean, hell, Clematis alone, how they've just been expanding the sidewalks, more walkability, more places for the tables.
I mean, I used to go to respectable streets back in the early 90s.
Good old days.
And you were scared putting your car, you know, it's like, we didn't leave anything good in there, did we? Yeah.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That guy, Rodney Mayo, who started that whole thing down there, he kind of rebirthed Clematis Street twice before major redevelopments, because when everything was so cheap, he had Lost Weekend, respectable streets. Remember Lost Weekend?
He had like 3 or 4.
He had like 3 or 4, and he was just totally into West Palm, right?
Yeah.
He's the one that created Sunfest. Sunfest started as an Ice magazine, the place I used to work. Ice magazine started Sunfest, but it wasn't called Sunfest back then. And they called it Ice, something Ice Fest.
I remember that Ice magazine, I think.
Yeah, that was Michael Koretsky. He was the editor of it. And they were doing all that stuff back then. And then it got bigger and bigger, and people started saying, hey, you could actually do something like this. And then eventually it grew into where people took it over and created Sunfest. But Sunfest was started on a local grassroots thing where a bunch of hippie kind of people just wanted to have some lifestyle.
Always you and the hippies.
I like the hippies. Yeah, hippies are good.
So hippie.
Hippie dippy. So anyway,
hippies need to bring it back.
Yes, exactly. So just want to say one last thing. If you're looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in Royal Palm area for your family, and you only want to pay $12,000 to get into the house, you got to give me a call, because this house I'm expecting to go fast once I put that mailer out next Monday. somebody's gonna pick it up. So come and give me a call.
It's gonna have a lot of eyeballs, that's for sure. We appreciate you being with us every Saturday. Let's make sure you got all the details on getting involved with the team. If you're buying a home, selling a home, you're stuck with a home, you don't know what to do, you need professional guidance in anything that touches the world of real estate, the Florida Talk Real Estate team is the team that you should be calling first and foremost. At least vet them, have an interview, find out if they're going to, work with you the way that you're hoping. I think it's going to work out well. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. You know people that are good at what they do. Sadly, you know people that are not very good at what they do. But do you know people that are great at what they do? I do. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. This is a team of pros. These are experts in their field. And when you're buying a home, you're selling your home, and you're stuck with a home and you are really struggling, you need professionals. You need the best of the best. Write it down. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. On Facebook, on YouTube. Consume away. Lots to consume. Hit, share, and like, because you can absolutely change lives with the pros of FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. You can change your own too. Pick up the phone. On that .com, you'll see the hotline. Call it if you like. 888-973-7828. Just remember FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Pros like AJ Hollman. ExperiencedAppraisers.com. Always good to see you. Have a great weekend.
You too. Safe travels today.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And Jamie D, Jim DePola with the Florida Home Bros team. I know you're busy. Have a great weekend and best of luck.
Thank you. Have a couple of good ones for me, a couple cold ones for me.
No cold ones, but I'll puff past.
Okay, there you go.
Okay,
cool, man.
Timothy, you're the man.
Johnny, have a great weekend. AJ, good to see you as always. And Jim, love you, brother.
Thank you, man.
I mean, I'll have one cold one for you.
Okay, one. Just one for me. Just for me. Thank you, dude.
I'll have 6 for you, Jim. Just want to make sure you're not left out.
There you go.
What the hell? I'll have a couple.
He's going to sacrifice.
That's what teams do.
Yep.
That's what teams do.
It's so hard.
We rise up to support each other in times of need. Have a great weekend if you're listening. If you're not, well, it's a terrible weekend. I'm kidding. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Thank you for being with us every Saturday. We're back at it next Saturday right here on Real Radio.